Alright, we are back with episode 2 of Climbing Mount Uley. A god knows how many part series where we're just going to try and make you good at Dragon Ball FighterZ. How's it going, Uley?
It's going good.
That's good.
I've lost like every match I've played so far, but it's going
well,
good.
hopefully we can put an end to that. We're going to start small today, and we're going to focus on execution. Since that's, you mentioned that you're playing with stick, and that's probably the first hurdle that people run into, playing with a totally foreign device. So can you join the lobby? The password's just 1111. Alright, so let's jump right into it.
Get ready for battle!
Alright, so we're going to start with the basics. So what I'm going to have you do is, I want you to do 5 Kamehamehas in a row. So that's just a quarter circle forward special. Or 236S, as you would say in anime notation. Perfect. Alright, now let's try doing it from the other side. Perfect. Alright. Now let's try some quarter circle back specials. So try throwing a rock at me. So it's quarter circle back, medium. So try throwing 5 rocks at me. Perfect. Alright, and then switch sides again, and try throwing rocks at me from that side. Perfect. Alright, so now that's special move execution out of the way. Now we're going to switch to TN. That's the option. Let me switch to TN. Alright, and we're going to start working on some combos that are a little bit more advanced, but they do work. And they are very useful. So we're going to get started with Krillin's basic meterless combo. And this combo, it's going to do like almost exactly 4,000 damage, and it's actually extremely useful. It doesn't take any meter, and you can connect with it at almost any place in any point in the screen. And in case this helps, I'm going to send the notation to you in Discord, so you can consult that if you want to know how exactly to do the combo. But so we're going to start by breaking it up into chunks. And so the first chunk that we're going to take care of is this part right here. So we're just going to do down medium into medium, and then that's going to launch the opponent up. And then we're going to catch with a jumping medium in a down heavy, and then that's going to be the first chunk. So just, that's all you have to do. So go ahead and see if you can give that a try. Alright, see if you can get that 3 times in a row.
What's going on?
Nope.
Remember to jump forward, maybe the jump cancel. And so an important part about this is as soon as you input forward, you want to hit jump immediately after that. Or as soon as you hit the up forward, you want to hit medium after that, immediately after that. So consider that like one fluid motion.
Right, you? Yeah.
I got down. Nope.
What's up, Sneaky Nitro? How's it going?
No more playing around.
Alright, so one more time. That's all we're working on right now. All right, you got it, but it was a blue combo that time. Nice. All right, let's put Yamcha in.
Stand back and let me handle this. Dang it. What's going on?
Second.
You're getting normal heavy, which is a spike.
Yeah.
Down heavy.
I'm just trying to reposition my stick on my table.
It's enough. Today's the day I win. Not even close. That's enough. Dang it. Not even close. Dang it. That's enough. No more playing around.
Nice.
What? I can't believe this. You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired. Get ready.
I'll go ahead and pull Tien back out. Yeah, let's keep trying that until you can get it 3 times in a row.
What's going on? Saw that one. Right, you? What? Yes! Sorry for the wait. What? Careless.
Alright, that's 1.
Got you. What?
That's 2. That's 3.
Don't think so.
Alright, cool. Now let's extend that chunk a bit. And I should actually pull out Tien if I can heal him. Well, it's gonna take a while to heal. But so the next chunk is basically after you do that that launch in the air, you're going to want to do the medium light, yeah, and then do that into another down heavy. So that same string that you were doing, except pursue with the super dash, and then do medium light, and then down heavy again. So just pull Tien back out here.
Not even close.
Let me demonstrate what it looks like.
Wait. Let's go.
Oh, hang on. Got a blue combo there.
Don't think so. Can't escape.
No, I actually don't want to kill you, Tien, so let's, I'll go ahead and let you try it out.
Let's go.
That's what it looks like.
That good. What? Can't escape. That good.
Just must have jumped at the end.
Let's do this. Not that good.
Nope.
Let's go.
Nice.
I'll buy us some time. Don't. Dang it. Don't toy with me. Don't toy with me. Don't toy with me. Don't toy with me. Krillin!
Haha, stole it.
Interestingly, it heals you less than it heals me.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
What if we'll throw another one? Yeah. Good old Krillin.
Yeah. No.
Not even close. That's enough. Do it now. Don't. Can't escape. Don't.
I missed one of the.
And just try to kill me with 2 H's now.
Let's go. Don't think so. I was no match for you.
Oh boy, looks like I'm up.
Let's go. Here it goes. Try me. I'm not through with you yet. Don't. I'm not through with you yet. Don't think so. I'm not through with you yet. Don't think so. I'm not through with you yet. Don't think so. I'm not through with you yet.
The timing, damn it. I like how it, like. Oh. Hit the right button, there we go.
Watch it's up to win. It's on. Can't escape. What's going on? When I die, get out of the way. You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired me to improve.
I uninstalled it and installed this back onto an SSD just so that it'd be a little quicker to learn.
Nice.
Sorry for the wait.
It definitely is much faster.
And now what you've all been waiting for. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. It's enough.
So after you connect with that super dash,
Yeah. It's medium light.
you don't have to. Oh wait, yeah. I just can't do it. So after you connect with that super dash, you don't have to go straight into the medium. You actually have a lot of leeway there. So don't feel like you need to hit medium right away. There's a little bit of leeway there for you to delay and then hit medium. But go ahead and give it another try.
It's too slow.
And now what you've all been waiting for. I saw that coming. That's enough. That's enough.
Take it easy, okay?
Like you.
Saw that one.
Like you.
Alright, almost got it that time.
There's no way I'm losing to you, TN. Not even close. Whoopsie. Not going anywhere.
Go ahead and try to come with 2H.
It's on now. Whoopsie. Don't. It's on. No more playing around. Let's go. Let's go. What? Don't think so. Can't believe this. You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired me to improve my own.
Ready? Like that?
Sorry for the wait.
Saw that one.
Alright.
Like you.
Saw that one.
Alright, that was almost good.
What's going on?
And now what you've all been waiting for. I saw that coming.
Right.
I saw that coming. Dang it. I saw that coming. Oops. Krillin! Dang it. Enough. Don't toy with me. Get back, Yamcha. That. Careless. Don't. What? Careless. Don't.
I'm getting worse as I go.
Don't. That. Let's go.
Alright, you got the sequence correctly there, but the timing was a little bit off.
Saw that one. Let's switch places.
Don't. Not even close. Dang it. No more playing around. Careless. Gotcha. Can't escape. Gotcha.
Here to help.
Can't escape.
Nice. Alright, you got it that time.
What? That was was no match for you.
Okay, I'm up. Fight! No more fooling around. What's going on? What's going on? Saw that one. Yeah.
Alright, just gotta come with 2H again.
Yeah.
You're no longer a marshal. You definitely have great techniques. You inspired me to improve.
Get ready.
I keep hitting my Windows key.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that you're starting to get the feel for the first part, I'm going to show you the whole combo. And basically what it is that it's that entire sequence that you're doing, except you jump cancel after the down heavy, and then it's just light, light, light from that point forward. So... and that gives you that nice hard knockdown, and it does 4,000 damage.
Get down! Don't think so. Let's go. Don't think so. Don't think so. Let's go. That's enough. Let's go. Don't toy with me. Enough.
So that'll happen sometimes. Sometimes you'll get the down heavy and you'll jump cancel and you won't be high enough.
Yeah.
And so there's two reasons why that can happen. One of which is you're just not pressing up forward and jab close enough together. And the other one is that you're not letting your opponent fall far enough after you connect with the super dash. So you got to connect a little bit lower than you basically just don't have to. As long as you don't cancel into the move after the super dash right away, you'll be fine. Just let them drop for like a split second.
Like you. Like you. Yeah. Like you. Yeah. What's going on? Let's go.
Watch out, Uley. Don't.
Maximum power. Maximum power. Let's go.
Don't. That was no match for you.
Oh boy, looks like I'm up.
Can't escape.
Jump there.
Uncle!
There's no way I'm losing to you, Tien. What's going on? Not even close. Dang it!
What else did you say?
I don't even know how I hit vanish.
You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired me to improve my own.
It's all or nothing. Let's go.
Sorry for the wait.
Like you. Yeah. Saw that one. Like you. Yeah. Let's switch places.
Don't. Dang it! Enough! Don't toy with me! I saw that coming! I saw that coming!
Gonna be all right?
What's going on? Don't toy with me! Tien! You're up now! Don't think so.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. No more fooling around.
That
Maybe switch to
Yamcha, but don't.
I'm not getting that down heavy anymore.
Don't think
Yeah,
so.
you want to hit that down heavy immediately after that
Yeah.
medium. Think of that as like one motion.
Don't think so. Don't think so. I've got you. Don't think so. Krillin!
I like should swap back to controller.
Don't think so. But don't. Can't escape. I was no match for you.
Oh, that was good. Nice to do a little bit more down heavy practice.
Like I'm up.
I'm not through with you yet. I'm not through with you yet. I've got you.
Saw that one.
I'm not through with you yet. But don't. I'm not through with you yet.
Uncle.
There's no way I'm losing to you, Tien. It's on now. But don't. It's on. Don't toy with me. Not going in. I saw that coming. It's on now. Not even. It's enough. It's on now.
Nice. You're getting pretty good at that.
You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired me to improve my own.
It's all or nothing.
Sorry, wait.
What's going on? Yeah.
Can't escape.
Yeah.
Can't escape.
Saw that one.
I'll buy us some time.
Dang it.
Don't toy with me. You're up now. That what? Let's go. Don't think so.
Alright, so
Krillin!
we'll assign the rest of that combo as homework, basically as something to try out for the next time around. So let's briefly go over the same types of combos for both Yamcha and Krillin. And we'll start with Krillin,
Do this.
because his is most similar to Tien's. However, it's a lot more difficult, and the reason it's a lot more difficult is because of the fact that you have to wait on a lot of his double hitting moves to hit both times in order for these combos to be optimal. So stuff like his jumping medium, they hit twice like that. So you have to physically wait for both of those hits to connect before continuing with the next part of the combo, and that makes it a lot more awkward. Also, Sneaky Nitro asks, what's the input for forward air dash? And that's up, forward, forward. And a lot of people like to think of that as just pressing up, forward twice, which if you just sort of like fudge it, it works, but the input is actually strictly up, forward, forward, or 9-5-6 in anime notation. But so let's we'll practice that later because it's a little bit more difficult. But so Krillin's optimal meterless combo that you want to try and strive for looks something like this. It's going to be down medium, medium, very similar to Tien's, and then you jump medium, and then you have to wait for both of these hits to this jump medium, and then do jab and then too heavy. So I'm just going to show you right here.
What's going on?
That's the full thing, and it does even more damage than Tien's because of all of those multi-hitting normals there in Krillin's meterless combo. But so I'm gonna let you just try out that first part of it, the down medium, medium, and then jump medium. Let both hits connect, and then jab, and then down heavy. Just try to do that part.
Like you? Whoops.
Down medium, medium. Let both hit. Then jab, too heavy, okay.
Like you? Whoops. Whoops.
I'll buy us some time. That's enough. Not even close. Don't toy with me. You're up now.
Saw that one.
Don't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was good timing.
Don't. Stand back and let me handle this. Not even close. That's enough. Don't toy with me.
Gonna be all right.
Dang it. That's enough.
Why not?
This could be interesting. What?
Like that, like that.
Almost.
Don't think so. What? I was no match for you.
Oh boy, looks like I'm up. Right, you. Right, you.
Oops.
Let me send you Krillin's full combo for
Yeah.
reference as well. Alright.
What am I doing?
Right, you. Like that. Yeah. Right, you. Yeah. Like that. Let's switch places.
I saw that coming. I saw that coming.
Like that.
Dang it. Don't toy with me.
Sorry for the wait. Yeah.
What? You're not that good.
Nice. Timing was a little bit too late on the down heavy, but that was
Yeah.
good.
Don't. Here to help. Don't. Careless. You're not that good. You're not that good. Careless.
Like that.
Nice.
Don't think so.
Cool. So basically the rest of Krillin's combo follows the same pattern as Tian's. After that down heavy, you pursue with the super dash. And then it's, for Krillin, it's a little bit more basic. You don't have to do that light, medium, that medium, light, light string. It's just, light,
Yeah,
light, down heavy,
light, light.
jump, light, light, light. So just like
Right, you. Like that.
light, light, down heavy, light, light, light. And I missed one of the hits in there with the medium, but that's the basic gist of it. But let's go ahead and jump over to Yamcha now. So, oops, that's Tian.
Don't think so.
So Yamcha's is actually a lot easier, despite the fact that it's very, very different, because of the fact that he doesn't have a down heavy, well, a conventional one. His is just a dive kick in the air. So with Yamcha, what you want to do is down medium, medium, and then down heavy immediately, and then super dash, and then do 2 repetitions of this medium, light, light air string. And then you finish that off with the medium gale claws, which is just quarter circle back medium in the air. And so I'll quickly demonstrate what the whole thing looks like.
Not going anywhere.
And that gale claw gives you the same kind of hard knockdown that Spike does on the other characters. Alright, so go ahead and give that one a try. Just give the whole thing a try. Yamcha's is not very difficult. So down medium, medium, and then down heavy. And then pursue with the super dash. And medium, light, light, jump, medium, light, light.
Yeah. Actually, I practiced this one before.
Gotcha.
I've done a little bit of homework myself before this whole thing.
Let's do this.
Not even close.
Oops. I'm lagging a bit, so.
Yeah. The delay's getting up there.
Yeah.
It's on now. Hey, don't toy with me.
Alright, almost dead, so let's go ahead and
Be all right?
practice out Yamcha's 2H.
Not going anywhere. Not even close. It's on. It's on now.
Oh boy, looks like I'm up. Let's go!
Not going anywhere.
I'm not through with you yet!
I saw that
I'm not
coming.
through with you yet!
It's enough.
I'm not through! Uncle!
Let's go, Yamcha. It's enough. It's on now. I can't believe this. Fighting side by side with you like this really takes me back.
Alright, so let's take a moment to talk about swaps. So I'm sure you already know that if you hold the assist button, you just swap to the character you're holding after like a second or so. And if you hold forward and press the assist button, you can do a quick swap, which is way more useful.
Saw that one!
The hold swap pretty much only ever comes in handy for situations where you're not sure what side you're on, and you're not sure which way is forward. But otherwise, I normally advise you to always use the forward assists. And another benefit of the forward assists is that you can use it while you're blocking and spend a bar and swap out while you're in the middle of a block string, which comes in super handy because in this game you're normally either getting hit or in a block string. And that's also a safer way to switch than a raw tag, because that can get down heavy and then you can get blown up. But if you use the guard cancel switch, then a lot of times you'll end up just pushing the opponent away and being a little bit safer. So go ahead and like dash forward until you build a meter. Yeah, just advancing forward in this game builds you meters. So just advance forward, just like run towards me. Just like that. If you hold forward, you could do like a run kind of thing. Not really a run, more like a fly. And that's a really good way to close distance, because you can't block while you're doing this.
Enough. Don't toy with me.
There we go.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
just do that.
Maximum power!
I sometimes forget that's in the game because it's actually really useless in the middle of the match. Because the reason it's useless is because when you do this, you're restricted to charging at least one bar.
Yeah, and but hey, it's a Dragon Ball game. It wouldn't be a Dragon Ball game if you couldn't scream.
Yeah, and it's funny, there are actually some Dragon Ball games where you can charge for like a split second. And those kinds of games just look really ridiculous because every moment that anybody's like has a reprieve, like after a knockdown, you just like charge for like a split few frames, and it's really weird looking. But so I'm gonna basically just get you in a block string, and I want you to try and guard cancel swap out of it. All right, so just block what I do. Try to see if you can guard cancel swap. So wait until you're in block stun,
Yeah.
and then use forward and assist. There you go.
Coming.
And then remember that your assist cooldowns are there, but try to keep swapping to whoever's available.
See that coming. Hey, slow. See that coming. See that coming.
Nice. All right. Just wanted to go over that real quick. Like, if you're ever really about to die, like, that's if your character's about to die, that's a really effective way to get them out of there. It's not necessarily safe because you can still get punished on the way in, but you're usually not going to be because your opponent's going to be busy doing whatever block string they're doing. If you see stuff like that can happen.
But if I'm almost dead and I'm swapping into like a full health character, that's way better than
Yeah, absolutely.
dying.
Yeah, because if you raw tag, then what can end up happening is your raw tag gets 2H,
It's on now.
and then your opponent can just do this and kick your character back in for you, and then you immediately lose all your blue health, which is why people don't advise you to just raw tag very often in this game. So that's a really effective way to switch characters if you are about to die. If you only have like a decent amount of blue health, but you still want to get your character out, but you don't want to raw tag, then the most effective way is when you end a combo, just to use the level 1 and then DHC it into somebody else's level 1 that you want to switch into. So let's say I'm Yamcha and I've taken damage and I want to switch into Krillin. So then what I'll do is I'll get you in a combo.
It's on now.
And I'll use my Spirit Ball. And then I'll DHC into Krillin's Destructo Disc. And then I have Krillin in.
Not too shabby.
And that's a
huh?
very, very safe way. That's the desirable way to switch. So even if you don't necessarily need the damage, the extra damage from the supers, sometimes it's worth it to spend those 2 bars just to get a very safe switch and a little bit of extra damage. So go ahead and try to do a basic... just do a raw DHC into... a raw super into DHC. So go ahead and hit me with a Destructo Disc and then press one of your assist buttons to tag in one of your partners.
Here goes. Destructo Disc. Ready for this?
Nice.
Saw that one.
And then of course Yamcha's Spirit Ball has a whole bunch of different like weird properties to it.
Yeah.
So for now, we're just gonna say match it to get all the hits, despite the fact that there's actually like a lot of really unique patterns that you can use with this to manipulate your opponent's positioning and allow you to combo into even a level 3. But so for now, we're just gonna leave it at match it. Alright. So let's go over your character's special moves. So we looked at Krillin's Kamehameha and his Rock Throw. So all 3 of your characters have beams. So Yamcha has a really shitty, really slow Kamehameha, but it works. So go ahead and use that a few times.
It is really slow.
It starts up really slow, and he can't use it in the air. So it's pretty much the worst Kamehameha in the game, but at least he has it.
Yeah.
Fighting side by side with you like this really takes me back. But you've done.
But so obviously these beam assists, these beams, like Kamehameha, and there we go. And even Tien's Dodon Ray. They're useful because they can't be super dashed through. So go ahead and try to hit me with them. Or hit me with a Kamehameha. Yeah, so that'll catch me trying to super dash at you. Whereas normal Ki Blast, I can just jump right through. Additionally, when you have a bar, so let me charge up. You can actually confirm out of these beams, and the way that you do that is when you see them hit, you just vanish. And if you do this at the right timing, what'll end up happening? I don't know if Dodon Ray can do it. Go ahead and switch Krillin up. There we go. So what'll happen is, I guess not with Dodon Ray, but with other Kamehamehas, you can vanish to confirm out of them, and then after that vanish, you'll get a wall bounce, which you can combo out of. So go ahead and try to give. Apparently, it doesn't work with Dodon Ray, so switch. I guess Yamcha in, or Krillin. That works too. And then try to give me the Kamehameha, and then vanish to follow it up on hit.
I can remember Vanish.
Vanish is just medium and heavy at the same time.
Yep.
There you go.
Don't toy with me.
Try it again. Perfect.
Not even close.
All right, now this time what you're gonna do is the same thing, except after the vanish, I want you to dash forward and then hit 2 medium, and that should catch me after the wall bounce. All right, so just Kamehameha, vanish, dash forward, 2 medium.
Not even close. Not even close.
Wow.
If you hit too late there, then you don't get the wall
Yeah,
bounce. It depends
no.
on height.
I'll show you. Don't toy with me.
Let's do this. Whoops. Maximum power. Saw that one.
practice dash forward into crouching into 2 medium. There you go. If you do it right, you should see him like slide forward a little bit. All right, and then try the All right, try the whole thing.
I dashed.
Yeah, you dash. You gotta do it a little bit faster.
Jumped.
Yeah, you have to start dashing as soon as you hit the ground.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Add a meter there.
Maximum power!
Don't think so.
Take a breather!
So
Oh, you almost got it.
almost.
That was good timing on the dash.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Nice. Almost dead. So just try to
Yeah.
get some more 2 heavy practice in.
I've got you. I was no match for you. All right, it's my turn.
If you ever connect with a super dash and you're not sure what to do, just mash light.
I saw
Yeah.
that coming. Not going in. I saw that coming. Not going in. That's enough. Not going in.
Okay, I'm up.
Alright, you give the Kamehameha vanish a couple more tries to going.
Good work, Yamcha. Let's keep it up.
But so the actual practicality of those beam and vanish combos, it's pretty advanced stuff. So I don't expect you to be able to do that in actual matches on the fly. But the actual execution of catching that dash forward in 2 medium is very useful to lab out. And it's also just an important thing to know that you can do as an option. But so let's talk a little bit more about vanish. So vanish, you can treat this like you can kind of treat this like a super dash. If somebody just does it raw and neutral, you can react with a down heavy, the 2H, and that will beat it out. As long as there isn't anything else on the screen like an assist or something to put you in block stun. And whenever somebody vanishes, the screen does make that noise and like flash, and
Yeah.
it even like freezes to make it easier to react to. There you go. And so you should never let anybody get away with doing vanish raw on just in neutral like this. And one of the main reasons why you want to down heavy it instead of blocking it is because of the fact that vanish is plus on block. So if you were to block this vanish and then start trying to jab it as a challenge, you would lose out. So I want you to just I want you to use vanish, and then I'll block it, and then after the vanish, just start mashing jab. So you counter hit my jab there because that vanish is actually very plus on block. Sometimes you don't really have much of a choice, and sometimes there'll be assists and stuff putting you in block stun, preventing you from down heavying the vanish. So in that situation, there's one thing that everybody can do, and what that is after you block the vanish, what you do is you backdash. So I want you to do that same thing you just did, just vanish and then start mashing jab. So if you backdash, you can create enough space to escape that whatever they put out after you block the vanish, and then whiff punish it with the button. And normally the button you want to use there is either jab or down medium. So I want you to try what I just did. Block the vanish and then backdash. And then just press a button. Alright, let's try it again. Oh,
Maximum power! Like that, you!
go ahead and switch up. Yep.
Don't think so.
So that's a very effective way of dealing with vanishes when you have no choice but to block them. And if you don't know how to do that, then you'll find yourself just, as long as your opponent has meter, you'll find yourself on the ropes. So that's a very useful thing to know in terms of defending in this game. And I mentioned like last time that we did this session that normally with most fighting games, the first thing that I teach you is how to block. But blocking, like I said, is not always beneficial in this game. Sometimes blocking is the wrong answer. But I will go over blocking. And so the basic fundamental rule of blocking that applies to almost everybody is as long as somebody's feet are on the ground, you should be crouch blocking. And as soon as you see their feet leave the ground, that's when you should stand block. So I am going to try and get you with a little bit of a tricky high-low string here with Yamcha. And I want you to try and block the whole thing. Okay?
Hey, what? Hey, don't think so. Don't.
Alright, go ahead and switch, or Senzu up at the end.
Yeah.
So you noticed you got caught by that second jab there
Yeah.
because they're both overheads.
Hey, don't think so.
Alright, go ahead and switch Tien out.
Take a breather!
So Krillin's actually a small character, so
Yeah.
some things will actually miss him. But I can still time this to make it work. Actually, I'll do a simpler one. So this one's just going to be overhead and low. There you go.
Saw that one!
Here's where the fun begins.
Fight it out!
Oopsie. Hey, don't toy with me. Hey, not even close.
Maximum power!
Oopsie. What? Oopsie. Hey, I saw that coming. What? Dang it. What? Dang it. Hey, not even close. Oh! Why not? This could be interesting. Don't. Can't believe this. Fighting side by side.
So when you're online, it can be a little bit harder to react to whether somebody's standing or blocking. So a lot of this comes down to intuition.
Yeah. And it's timing when to start the block.
And so eventually, like, you just build sort of instincts and habits of when to stand block and when to crouch block. Like, if you notice that somebody loves to instant air dash on you, you should sort of be looking for that and look for the stand block. You should also be aware of somebody's options. Like, you should know that when I'm standing this far away with Krillin, he has no lows that will reach you, so it's safe to stand block here. Whereas if I were to be using, say, Trunks, you should be afraid at this range because Trunks has a slide that can just come up and reach you from that distance. Whereas this instant air dash, you should also know the range is on this. So if I'm standing at this range, I can always instant air dash in on you and get an overhead. Whereas if I'm a little bit closer, if I'm here, this is a little bit more of an awkward range, and I can't overhead you from here as easily. And then when I'm standing here, I can obviously do anything, right? I can do a low, or I can do forward and medium. And so that's the worst place to be when you're defending, is right in your opponent's face when they have the advantage. Which is why when somebody vanishes on you, the first thing you want to do is backdash.
Uley is making a good one.
Alright, so last week we worked on block strings. So let's reiterate on some of Yamcha's block string options. So I want you to use that same block string that we were practicing last week, which is just going to be light, light, down, medium, medium, and then heavy. And that's his go-to block string. I'll block it this time. Alright, so light, light, down, medium, medium, and then heavy. Remember to put that down medium in there. That's a very important part of that block string. Remember to get that down medium, medium. Because you want to be able to confirm that part. There you go. And then after that part, you should only on block go into that heavy. So go ahead and try the full thing. Light, light, down, medium, medium, and then heavy. There you go. And then remember that this that Yamcha's heavy is actually plus on block. So you can just mash jab afterwards and then re-loop that entire string. You want to be careful not to get that third part of the auto combo.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alright, keep doing it. And this time I'm going to randomly unblock at certain points. And you should just be able to pick up on that and try to combo if you see me unblock.
What? I saw that coming.
So when that happens and you see this 2 medium connect, you want to go for that jump cancel. Either jump cancel or down heavy. Either one works for Yamcha. And then with Tien, his block string options are a little bit more universal. You don't actually have any assists or swaps available right now. But what you can do as a basic pressure string, as long as you have meter, is something like this. Light, light, down medium, medium, down heavy, and then vanish. You can always use vanishes to extend pressure strings. And what's really powerful about that is that if you block this too heavy and then I vanish, you actually don't have enough time to down heavy my vanish. So you just have to do the thing where you block it and then backdash. So go ahead and block this. And like I said earlier, that advantage is plus on block, so you can reloop the string there, the same way that Yamcha can do with his heavy. So go ahead and try that on me. Just light, light, down, medium, medium, down, heavy, vanish. Yeah, that actually works too. You can do heavy into down, heavy. Go ahead and block again. So go ahead and actually try that. That's a little bit better. So light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy, down, heavy, vanish. Yeah.
Oh, I missed the vanish. Light, light.
The important part is just to vanish after that down heavy.
Yeah.
Can't believe this. You definitely have great techniques. You've inspired me to improve.
Alright, let's try that some more with Tien.
Sorry for the wait. Sorry for the wait.
Alright.
Immediately after hitting it down heavy, my pinky wants to hit super dash.
Yeah, and that's a really difficult habit to break
Yeah.
because that's how you confirm out of a down heavy. Basically, you hit super dash. But on block, you want to make sure that you know how to handle that situation as well. Because if you hit super dash on block, nice. I was about to say I could down heavy it, and then you vanish, and that's exactly how you're supposed to handle that situation. Alright, looks like you're getting the hang of that with Tien, so let's go ahead and try it with Krillin. So Krillin's string looks exactly the same as Tien's, just light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy. Heavy, down, heavy works. So light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy, down, heavy. And then vanish. Alright, let's go ahead and give that a few loops. And then once I block the vanish, feel free to just keep re-loop the exact same string.
Come on, Krillin.
And so Krillin, because of the fact that he has a grounded down heavy, he actually doesn't need to vanish to make it safe. He could do something a lot simpler. And so that same block string, instead of vanishing at the end, if you don't want to waste meter, but you definitely want to keep that practice up, go ahead and block this. What you can do is end his strings with either Kamehameha or his jump kick. So light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy, down, heavy, Kamehameha. And then you're completely safe on block and you create some space. Additionally, if you want to extend the pressure a little bit and try and catch your opponent not blocking high, then what you do is light, light, down, medium, medium, light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy, down, heavy, and then quarter circle forward light, and that'll be an overhead. And that overhead is 0 on block, so after that, anything you try to press will just sort of clash with the opponent. So if you want to jab, that's fine. Otherwise, if you just want to block, that's also a safe option. But so go ahead and try that, the Kamehameha ender on me. So go ahead and do light, light, down, medium, medium, heavy, down, heavy, Kamehameha. Nice. Alright, go ahead and try that again. Oh, I'll miss this too. So you notice how the Kamehameha actually didn't create as much distance as it did last time because we were mid-screen. So when you're in the corner, you can push yourself back, but you can't push the opponent back any further. And because of that, the down forward light option becomes stronger in the corner if you want to end strings with it. So go ahead and try that same string, but end it with down forward light. try that again in the corner this time. So go ahead and do that full block string on me and end it in quarter circle forward light. Nice. And try it again. Now notice how that after that quarter circle forward light, you're in my face basically. And so because it's 0 on block, you're actually kind of safe to just jab after that, even if I block, and continue pressure. So go ahead and try it again. There you go. You can loop you can basically loop that block string over again, so long as your opponent doesn't try to challenge. So what happens if we both press buttons is we get that clash. And because we're both Krillin, obviously the clash will just continue as long as we keep matching jab. But if we were two different characters, then it would depend on whose light auto combo is faster as to who wins the clash there. Alright, so for the last thing that we'll do before we call it quits here is we'll go ahead and charge back up to full. And so let's go ahead and do the exact same block string, but this time I want you to end it in Destructo Disc, and I want you to mash the Destructo Disc out all the way.
Okay.
So down forward, quarter circles forward, and then yeah, Dragon Roll, and then keep mashing it. So you spent 5 bars and you did quite a bit of chip damage to me. And it's usually not worth the meter, but if for some reason you just need to get that much chip damage on your opponent, like let's say they are down to their last character and you just need a little bit of damage on the board, and that's one way you can do it. It's one option that Villain has. Just to do tons and tons of like chip. You just did like half my health in chip damage. So yeah, if you're overflowing a meter and you just want that that blue health taken away, then that's one way to do it. Alright. And finally, what we're going to close with is just some more 2H practice, except this time I want you to practice actually getting combos after the down heavy. So if you're not sure what to do, just again, pursuit and then just mash light, and that'll give you an auto combo. And that's good enough. And I'll just try and connect with the dashes.
Don't toy with me! It's I'm not throwing you yet! Like that! I'm not here, not going anywhere! Yeah! Not going! I'm not throwing you yet! Like that! I saw that coming! Not going anywhere! Why not? This could be interesting. Let's go! Like that! I'm not throwing you yet! Yeah! Don't think so! Saw that one! Let go! I'm not throwing you yet! Like that! Don't think so! Let's go! Like that! Watch this stuff to win. Let's go! Can't escape. It's on now. Can't escape. What's going on? Can't escape. Not going anywhere. Let's go. What's going on? Can't escape. It's on now. I was no match for you.
Feel free to activate your spark and your switch if you feel the need to.
Goes. Drive in.
I'm not through with you yet! Like that! Speed ahead! Like
Don't
that!
think so. Don't want to die. Get out of the way. You ready for this?
Nice. That was a good finish. All right, so basically your homework until next session is to work on those combos and block strings and just perfect your execution and see if you can get them down consistently.
Yep.
All right, thanks for joining me. This has been episode 2 of Climbing Mount Uley. I hope you guys found it informative. I'll see you guys next time.